there. I'm Nadira Jamal, hostess of the Belly Dance Geek Clubhouse online radio show. Welcome to this special interview series with instructors from the 2015 Las Vegas Belly Dance Intensive. The intensive is now in its final year and will be held September 10th through 13th at the Flamingo Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. To make sure that you don't miss out on this epic event, visit bellydanceintensive.com. My guest today is Leslie Rosen, who will be teaching Belly Dancing with Fire, Concepts and Choreography for Fire. Circus starlet Leslie Rosen is the only belly dancer to have been admitted to Cirque du Soleil with her world-class fusion act. Her instructional DVD on Belly Dancing with Fire is available through World Dance New York, and you can check her out at leslierosen.com, spelled LeslieRosen.com. Thanks for joining me, Leslie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about the workshop that you're teaching at the intensive?
Yeah, this workshop is my favorite thing to teach. I have based it on the instructional DVD that I made, and so the two are really companions for each other. And so the idea is that there's a little introduction to safety and to different handheld tools that I think are really nice for belly dancers, and include candles and hand torches or palm torches. Those are two different styles of fire tools. One looks like a candle. It's like an oil candle, same style that you have on a table in a restaurant, but it has a finely milled top so that it's completely tight, so it can be turned upside down. And then the third is dipped in liquid fuel and then works that way. So the first doesn't get turned upside down because it's wax, and then the second two can. So the way that you work with them is a little different, and the fire safety for them is a little different. But those are the tools. But really, the whole workshop is about creating extended line with light around the body.
And, based on the description, it's concepts and choreography. Can you tell us, what type of dance you're teaching, or some of the key concepts that people might want to learn about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really instrumental in not just creating fire choreography, but really any choreography. So it's a great first class for people that are just starting to think about how to put movement together and trying to bring together sort of an integrated body look with an extended line for around the body too. So we go over simple things like using the geometric isolations from belly dancing, like circles and figure eights, undulating lines, and then pairing the movement, the external movement, with internal movement, trying to get those to work together in unison, to work together in opposition, and then to create sort of a bigger picture with partners. So that's the sort of the concept piece, right? Like how do you actually use the tool and the body together to make something really harmonious and beautiful?
Well, it sounds like that kind of conceptual backdrop would be really helpful for other things that use extended lines, like veils or skirts, or I've even heard your hair referred to as another way to create a delayed line.
Yeah, we actually, in my dance class that I teach in Seattle, I'm in Seattle, Washington, we often do our veil work without the veil. We'll do the sort of like air veil, and try to extend the line as though we're holding the veil, and we'll use the rib cage and the arms, and kind of carve through space and sort of look for those arcs and the pauses and the, the opening, and just see when you take away the prop and you leave it really at the most important piece, which is you, what you have left. And so the candle and the fire workshop, even though it's a prop workshop, there are no props in the workshop. So the people that are coming don't need to bring anything with them. So we're going to work in a completely theoretical.
I also imagine it's hard to find a venue where you can teach with live fire.
Well, you would be surprised, but yeah, we're not going to do that in Las Vegas this time. I have done it before at other belly dance retreats and workshops and stuff. We've had the opportunity to do some live fire.
Excellent. And if folks are afraid of fire, I'm sure you're aware of this, but they're really neat, like little LED flickering candle things that look very realistic if you put them in the right container.
Yeah,
so if,
there's all kinds of other
fire.
Yeah, you can also use. There's all kinds of beautiful glowing things too, not just the fire objects, but things that will look like balls of ice or things that glow under LED lights. So if you like the light effect, there's a lot of other props that you can work with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of them are available
never...
through juggling.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So if folks have never really thought about using fire or light props, what are some of the benefits of approaching this besides the obvious material that you're covering in your workshop?
I have to say, I think that once you have a chance, if you take a look at some videos, or if you have a chance to see a performance live, that you will know right away if it's for you. I think that because it's such an instinctual connection to fire, that people are either really drawn to it, or they know right away that it's not the thing that they want to pursue more. And for people that want to do it, it's like nothing will keep you from it. It's really exciting. And it's like having it's different than other props in that they have their own spirit and they have their own life, and that they themselves are alive. So it's more like working with a partner than it is like working with an object. But it gives you sort of a creative partnership that you can't really experience with anything else.
Mm-hmm. So besides the aesthetic options that it gives you, it's just a totally different experience.
It's an amazing experience. It's an amazing experience. It's cellular, it's auditory, the sound of it, and it can be really. There's as many different experiences with fire, as there are different people. I mean, you have everything from the small, twinkling light flame, to something that's really quite large. So you have everything from a candle to fireworks. So yeah, there's sort of a whole range.
Mm-hmm.
The whole paint box, if you will.
And how did you get interested in dancing with fire?
Well, I think I get interested in it. I had been belly dancing for a long time, and I always liked working with props. I liked swords and veils and other things like that, and I liked working with partners. And I had a good friend who is in Pirate Citra, which is the troupe that I've been in now for almost 15 years. And she was doing it. She had gotten involved with a teacher who was a really early Burning Man participant from the 90s, and he was teaching a class in Poi, and she and her boyfriend were in one of his courses in Seattle, and they formed a small troupe, and then it just took off. And so they wanted to bring more dancing into the style that they were already performing, so they're interested in working with me. And I just fell in love with it. I mean, the fusion of the liquid tools with the dancing, it was being freed actually from, I love candles, but it gives you such a different freedom of movement to be able to turn your hands in a complete circle, or to be able to move quickly, or to be able to move slowly, that just the whole texture of movement is completely different than it is with just candles. So it really is an entire separate dance form because of the way that you can integrate the things. And then the fire dancing itself, it has a really strong relationship to martial arts and to acrobatics and to juggling. So there is kind of a whole yin and yang of bringing together the sort of masculine and feminine of belly dancing and fire. So those two things I think are really fascinating. And they, I never get tired. I never get tired of it. It's continually unfold. You know what I mean? The different things that you can do and the different way you can work with props and the different creative ways that you can look at how to manipulate objects and your body.
And who would you say that this workshop is most appropriate for? Are there particular styles or levels or personalities who would get more out of it than others?
I've had all kinds of people. I've had really, I think it's appealing to people at all different ages and all different skill levels. It's not super demanding in terms of athleticism, because there's not a ton of long extension or a lot of heavy spinning. You don't need to have a lot of stuff to get started. You can just sort of, come as you are. And I think that wherever you're at with your dancing, you would get something out of it. I think that you would get something different out of it. The more experience that you have, you would probably integrate the things in a different way, for yourself. So I think that, you could sort of season whatever you're working on with what we're doing.
And is there a tip from your session that you could share with us so folks could try something out now?
Sure. Sure. Let's see. How about just something simple like, are you familiar with Tamerlan Dalal's sunrise and sunset arms, or just a big circle where the hands come up through the middle and either open together overhead or come back in from the sides together?
I didn't know she used that terminology. I stole that terminology from Shamira Shahinian in New Jersey. I wonder if Tamerlan was the source.
I don't know. She has a book that she wrote. She has an introduction to belly dancing book, and so it's in that. And I also learned it from her in a workshop. And I just like that image of it because I think that the arms rising together overhead, it really does. It's like the sun coming up in the morning over a hill. Like it has that really beautiful. Like you're the silhouette, right? Your body is the landscape, and you're creating that circle of light. And so I think for fire that's a really nice, powerful image also. This sort of like dawning of light. And like bringing light up around your face and then opening it around you and creating sort of a halo or an aura, so to speak, around you. So I think like if you use something, even just something simple like that, and then think about how quickly or slowly you would be moving your body through space as your arms rise, or whether you're standing still, or whether you're looking up at your hands or looking out through your hands. And just give yourself like a chance to just chew on some small piece of information like that about how you could be the rising sun, or you could begin your opening just with that big simple circle. I think there's a lot to that, like making the arms come up with a nice slow count while the feet move forward with a quick count, or vice versa. So just chewing on some little ideas like that.
Mm-hmm. There's so much that you can do, just little variations like that, especially if you have a clear intention or image behind it, like the sunrise.
I think so too. I think having a visualization to attach to, it gives you somewhere to be other than just nervous. Like it gives you, you know what I mean? It gives you a creative play space where you can sort of have your own, mermaid tea party or your own play pretend thing that's happening for you. It gives it some body and some truth to hold on to.
Excellent. Well, what are you most excited about for in this year's intensive?
I'm excited to meet other people from all over. I think it's going to be really amazing. And there's some friends from the East Coast. I'm from Maine originally, that I haven't seen in a long time that are going to be there, and other teachers even from Seattle where I live that I'll get to spend some more time with, and we'll get to have some adventures together.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, Leslie.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to meeting you in Las Vegas, and everybody else. I hope that, we'll all get to see each other there.
Me too. And thank you, everybody, for listening. If you'd like to learn more from Leslie, you can check her out at leslierosen.com. Again, that's LeslieRosen.com. Or better yet, join us at the intensive. This is the last time that this event is going to be held, so don't miss out. You can register now at bellydanceintensive.com. And to listen to more interviews with our fabulous instructors, visit bellydancegeek.com/Vegas 2015.